So far, we've done two voting methods, basically like plurality, like most votes for first place wins, and we've done the instant runoff. We've also done the Condorcet. I forgot about that. Today is a pretty popular one called the borda count. Why is it called the borda count? Again, the person who created it, it's their last name, right? The borda count. And it makes a lot of sense, but let's check this out. Here's the story behind it. Here's a map of all these cities: Seattle, Tacoma, Puyallup, not quite sure that's how it's pronounced correctly, and Olympia. And they're going to hold like a conference for all these like math teachers, like a math teacher conference. So they voted in all these cities. It's like, yo, bro, where should we have the conference at? Which city do you want it to be in? And as you can see here, Seattle got 51 first place votes, Tacoma got 25, Puyallup got 10, and Olympia got 14. If we only did plurality, are we down with the fact that Seattle was the winner because it got the most first place votes? Here's why Seattle got the most first place votes. It's the biggest city, right? It's the one with all the people in it in that case, right? Why did these three towns also vote for Seattle dead last? The reason why all three of these other towns did not want to go to Seattle because it's just too far of a drive. So what they did was they did the right thing in an election is they had them rank them. Instead of just picking your favorite, they ranked them just like we did with our snacks. And what we do is the borda count like totally attaches a point system to it. So kind of right with me, we're going to use this little made-up spreadsheet that I have for us right here to kind of rank all these guys. So you agree there's 4 people in the election. So if you took first place, all of those first place gets 4 points, because isn't there a total of like 4 people in the election? So they get 4 points. These get 3 points. These get 2 points. And these get 1 point in that case. Are you with me on that? So you might want to put that next to your chart. Maybe you need it. Maybe you do not. So like every first place vote counts for like 4 points. Every second place vote counts for 3 points, and et cetera on down the line. So here's what we'll do. We'll use this little my bad. We got to answer these questions. If plurality was the method, which city would host? That's Seattle. Right. If plurality was the method, Seattle to do that. Where did that city rank in all the other cities' votes? Dead last. Right? It was dead last in every other city's vote, as opposed to like the people in Seattle. So follow my lead here. Let's do this in this little made-up spreadsheet that I got. You see all of the vote totals up top, right? Those numbers, I want you to put those numbers right here. 51, 25, 10, and 14. And you'll probably have to just do this on a scratch piece of paper today, you know, like when you're doing homework, you know, you'll just make a little chart. And then here's what I'll do. I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, because these are all the points. I don't know why I accidentally put another row down at the bottom. That's my mistake on a typo. I put an extra row. It shouldn't be down there. And here's what we'll do, right? You see here that Seattle got 51 like first place votes, right? You know, so what we do is I'm going to put an S right here for Seattle, and then I need to take 51 times 4, right? 51 times 4. Why? Because every one of those votes is worth 4 points, right? So would you believe that they got 204 total points right here in that system, just in that column? Tacoma got 51 second place votes, but they're all worth 3 points apiece, so we're going to take 51 times 3, and then let's kind of put that in here. I'm going to put a T for Tacoma, and that number was 153, so we'll put that. The next one is Olympia. We're going to take 51 times 2, because isn't each one of those worth 2 points, so 51 times 2 is 102 votes. And then Puyallup, or whatever that's pronounced as, gets 51 times 1 in that case. And honestly, when I was filling my sheet out, that's like the way I did it at first, and I was like, there's got to be a better way to fill it out than that, right? You know? So here's what I did. I'm going to cheat it now. In the second column, I'm going to put all the towns first. I'm just going to go T, P, O, S. You see, like those are the first names of the towns, right? And what I'm going to do is, instead of going from top down, I'm going to go from bottom up. Do you see that this number right here, every one of the votes, there was 25 votes, so 25 is going to happen right here, and then 25 times 2 is going to happen right here. What's 25 times 2? 50. 25 times 3 is going to happen here, which is 75, and 25 times 4 is going to happen here. I kind of work from the bottom up instead, so I just do it times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4. So let's do that again for this dude. The letters go PTOS for this column, but I can't do 25, 50, 75, and 100 again. Isn't each one, they only got 10 votes, right? So last place gets 10 points, third place gets 20 points, next one gets 30 points, and then 40 points. To do the fourth column, OTPS, and then I'm going to start with 14, and I'm probably going to need to bust out my calculator for this. It's like 14 times 2 is the next one, which is 28. And then 14 times 3 is the next one, which is 42. And then 14 times 4, which is the next one, which is 56. That's what's called the borda count for each particular set of votes. Then they say, what's the borda count for each city? So I'm going to use highlighters because highlighters help me out a lot. To do Seattle, I'm going to say, here's a Seattle, if I can get my highlighter to work. Here's a Seattle, here's a Seattle, here's a Seattle, here's a Seattle. I need to add all these numbers up. I need 204 plus 25 plus 10 plus 14. Why don't you punch those in for me? Yeah. So by adding all those up, I got 253. I'll do Tacoma. Next, I'll pick a different color highlighter. Tacoma is all the T's, so I'm just finding them in each column. And I'm going to add all those homeboys up. 153 plus 100 plus 30 plus 42. And that is 325. Please double check that I hit the right buttons on that. Please do Olympia and Puyallup. Here's all our Olympias, 102, 50, 20, and 56. That adds up to be 194. And then I don't need to highlight the last ones because it's just all the white ones, the ones I have not highlighted, So 51 plus 75 plus 40 plus 28. I got 228. I could have punched the wrong button in. I'm just kind of looking at my own work. So if we did the borda count, when we ranked everybody and gave them like little points in that system, which one had the most? Tacoma is the winner by the borda count. And you're going to keep saying there can be more than one winner. Like you could totally tie, and then it would just have to go to another system in that situation. So you can have more than one winner. But let's go back to the map. Tacoma is a good compromise. Isn't it like the closest city to Seattle, and this is pretty close, and that's pretty close? Tacoma is a pretty decent compromise. But by plurality, Seattle was the winner. So let's realize what's wrong with that. What's wrong with that system was if we just did it the right way, Seattle had the majority. Like if you add up all the votes, I thought I wrote it down. Yep, there's 100 votes total. All of these numbers add up to 100. Seattle had a majority. They had more than half, right? So it's not fair to Seattle to get them out because, dude, we did the majority. When we did our snack vote, Oreos did not have a majority to start with, so it's like we had to go another way. So the problem with the borda count is if somebody had a majority, they should probably be the winner, and if we did the borda count, they didn't win. So that's kind of biased. So there's that. Let's do one more of these bad boys. Actually, two more. We'll do two more, and then we're done. So check it out. There are 4 winners. Let's use this guy right here and start with 120, 50, 40, 90, 60, and 100. And I think the more you write this out, the easier it is. It's a lot of crunching in numbers. That's what sucks about this method. It's just a lot of numbers, right? There are 4 places, so the point values get reversed. First place gets 4 points, second place gets 3 points, then 2 points, and then 1 point. So what I will do is I will just go with C, D, B, A. Again, that was the order of these hogs right there, C, D, B, A. And I will reverse engineer the points. The bottom one gets whatever number is up top. It gets 120. The next one, it's actually faster instead of doing the multiply. If you do 120 plus 120, like instead of times 2, you get 240. And then all you have to do to that is add another 120, because that would just be like times 3. So it's 360. and then add another 120 to that, and you get 480. So you either do it times 2, times 3, times 4, or just keep adding 120 every time. It's all going to work out the same. I'll let you do this one. This one's really nice because 50 is an easy number to deal with, right? So what you do is you go B, C, A, D, and then reverse engineer it, right, from the bottom up. Everyone goes up by 50. Yeah. And just keep going. 40s ain't that bad to deal with either for a lot of people. So the third column goes D, A, B, C. And then that would go 40, 80, 120, 160. 3 more columns left. I'll let you pause the video and see if you can fill those out. So here's our chart. Got her all filled out. We got to now add them all up, right? So I don't care if you highlight or don't highlight. I'm going to do all that. Let's do this. Let's combine efforts. Front row do A's, second row do B's, third row do C's, last row do D's. Sound cool? So A, B, C, D. Add them all up and we'll see what we got. It's very easy to miss some, right? I'm hearing 1140s out of A's. Does that sound about right? No, 950. I got 1140 also. B's, what are we getting for B's? I got a vote for 1060. Agree? I also got 1060. C's, did you guys get some C numbers? 1160. Yep, I got that. And then D's finally? 1240. Man, like, this is why I don't like this method, though, because it's just a lot of numbers. And it's easy to hit the wrong button on the calculator. But still, that's why I also put very few of these on your homework. Right? I think just a couple, you know, because it's just like, it's a lot of work to do one of these, right? Who was the borda count winner, though? It's whoever's got the most. That is D. Remember, there can be more than one. That's like a homework question. Can there be more than one? Yes, there can be, right? So let's do it one more time. This is a much easier one to deal with because there's not as many people and all that good stuff. I didn't put a little spreadsheet, so we can just kind of do this, like just write on it. 3, 2, 1, right? Since there's only 3 people. So doesn't Victor get how many down here? If there's 14 up top, how many down here? 14. Then times 2 is 28, and then times 3 is 42, right? Could you do the other point totals for these columns real quick? So work from the bottom up and just kind of put them next to their name. So bottom up, 14, 28, 42 for the first column, 14 times 1, 2, 3, 8, 16, 24, and then 11, 22, 33. To save you all a little time, I added them all up. Hannah got 69 total votes in that case. You just add up all the Hannahs. I think we get that. Luke got 69, and Victor got 60. Who was the borda count winner? Hannah and Luke. So I'm just going to write H and L. Hannah and Luke. They tied. Now, to settle the tie, they'd do something else. You know what I mean? But according to the borda count, they tied. And then the last thing is I listened to a lot of conversations in here. There are people who are big Sport Times fans. The borda count is a major way that people elect things like most valuable players, Heisman Trophy winners, etc. So for those who are interested, this was last year's Heisman Trophy race on the left. You can do all your first place votes, second place votes, and third. Here's the closest Heisman voting ever in history in 2009. You can kind of see, like you only get 3 votes, so each one of these is worth 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. You can see how close it was.